Woo, thank you very much. Lovely. Smashing. Hey, thanks to everybody that's done a bit tonight. Been a great night so far, hey? Marvellous. Absolutely marvellous. You know, all that spiel that Reg was doing about the alcoholics and that. You know the difference between an alcoholic and a drunk? They've started already. Any more of that now, I'll report you to your superiors. Find me anyone. Yeah, you know the difference between an alcoholic and a drunk? Drunk don't have to go to them fucking meetings. But I'm taking a piss here, but actually I am a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, funnily enough. Yeah, still drink, I just use a different name. In fact, you know, the Christmas before last was a godsend to us people who like the odd sherbet. Because the John Major administration wasn't responsible for very much enlightened legislation. Take, for instance, that student loans. That was one of John Major's ideas, wasn't it? I think that's the one that finally got him out, actually. Who'd lend money to a fucking student? It's like that Teddy Waite. Lend somebody a tenner and you never see him again. But that Christmas, the one bit of enlightened legislation that John Major delivered was that one, that Christmas when we had that government decree that said, driving is no excuse, get pissed. Do you remember? Maybe I'm distilling it down to its essential points here, but that was the upshot. Driving is no excuse, get pissed. Because every year, you know, if you like a drink, every Christmas is ruined, isn't it, by these mealy-mouthed don't drink and drive campaigns on the telly, you know, putting the finger of guilt in there, you know, you're having the time of your life and then you're watching a don't drink and drive, you know what I mean? Fuck it off, you know what I mean? Once a year, you know what I mean? Once a fucking year, give us a break. Get off our fucking case. If you don't like it, fucking stay in. Nobody wants to run over a mother of six. But how the fuck else are you going to get the car home? Case in point, this bloke has had a few sherbets 2 years ago. He's heard the news, driving no excuse. He's had a few sherbets. He's driving home up the middle of the road in a very disorderly fashion. John Law pulls up alongside, what is it they say, cardigan, knitwear, pull over, that's it, pull over. I knew I had it surrounded. Pull over. So he pulls over, right, and so as a middle-aged man, it's Christmas. What's he had for Christmas? What do middle-aged men get for Christmas? I'll tell you. I'm a middle-aged. No, they don't get socks. They don't get socks and they don't get inappropriate ties and they don't get aftershave. What a middle-aged man gets in the 90s for Christmas is kind of sex, almost sex. What a middle-aged man gets for Christmas is a Desmond Morris book. So this bloke, he's had the Desmond Morris book. The cops have pulled him over, so he thinks he knows a bit about body language. So he thinks, right, get out of the car, meet the officer halfway. Body language, non-aggressive. So he gets out of the car, he meets the officer halfway, he's swaying about like an MFI wardrobe, and the cop's trying to keep him in his sights there, and all that on the edge of the road, and the copper says, right, what have you had to drink? He says, 3 Bloody Marys, 4 pints of snakebite, 5 pints of Guinness, a couple of vodka martinis, and a pint of baby sham. Give or take the odd can of Stella Artois. Okay, blow into this bag. Why, don't you believe me? That Christmas was a great Christmas. It was happy and sad in equal measure because we had that enlightened legislation on the one hand, and on the other hand, our patron saint, Mr. Dean Martin, died. Very sad, that, yeah. Oh, yeah. The guy who said, you're not drunk if you can lie flat on your back without holding on. What a guy. Yeah. Everybody loves somebody sometime. When the sun hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. Lovely, you've been there. Fantastic. You know, I rewrote one of Dino's top tunes, you know. Remember Little Old Wine Drinker Me? Well, I'm a foot fetishist. You know, I've got a thing about women's shoes. And many's the happy hour I've spent looking in Timpson's window there. I'm easily amused. So I wrote this little number. Well, I'm praying for a drought in Texas, so the cows will die and they can make more shoes. Dino. Oh, yeah. You know, Dean Martin once shook hands with Pat Boone, and the whole of his right-hand side sobered up. Hey there, Pally. Did you see the Rat Pack captured the other week? You know, when Frank sadly died the other week. Frank sadly died, but the upshot of it was, you know, the good bit was, they showed loads of Frank stuff on the telly, and did you see the Rat Pack captured? Did you see that program? You didn't see Dino, he was just in the wings, wasn't he, heckling Frank. You know, the only guy in the world that could get away with heckling Frank. It was very funny indeed. When I was 17, you were a pain in the ass. Oh, yeah. Marvellous. Great stuff. Did you get loaded last week all about the Rat Pack? Best dressed man in the world. It's a toss-up between Frank and Sammy Davis Jr., hey? Best dressed guys in the world. Fantastic. You were allowed to smoke. You know, if you were in the Rat Pack, you could only take 3 drags of a cigarette because it didn't look elegant. You know, after that, them were the days. Before the world turned lax and sour. You know, there were standards then. The rites of passage have gone by the board, haven't they? You know, there's no rites of passage anymore, are there? You know, when I was a kid, it went like this. Glue, speed, draw, coke, and heroin. Now apparently they're in at the deep end straight away. Very sad. Very sad, whatever happens to rites of passage. But I don't really believe. You know, you watch the news and they tell you, don't they, that there are people, the lowest of the low in my opinion, if they exist, which I doubt, there are people selling Class A controlled narcotic drugs to school children. They're going there in the schoolyard and they're dishing it out there, you know.